Let's go ahead and build some worlds with Minecraft. So we're logged into Minecraft and we're going to press play. And we want to create a new world. When you come to this screen, you'll see that there are some template worlds that you can open up and play. You would also see any saved worlds that you've created in this section. But for our learning, we want to create a new world. The first thing you should do is rename your world. Next, pick out what type of game mode you want. Your choices are survival and creative. Survival mode is more focused on the essentials of living. So you are going to have to get food. You're going to have to create a shelter. You're going to have to do all of these things to survive. Creative mode is more focused on the act of building. You want to create things. You want to make this big world that others can experience. For this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and select Creative World. When you get to the difficulty, you're talking more about how is the environment going to treat you. Is it going to be an easy environment to survive and live in, or is it going to be filled with all sorts of predators and things? So one of those things that might appear is called a mob with a B. And mobs are basically these automated characters, animals, ghouls, whatever. And on peaceful mode, you're not going to find any of those. But on any of the other modes, you should find a mixture of these different characters. We'll go ahead and pick easy. Next, you want to pick out world type. And so now you have to think about what kind of a world do you want to create in, since we're doing creative mode. A flat world is literally going to be that. It's going to drop you on a flat patch of grass, and it's basically an endless world, and it's very easy to build on. So if you want students to build in a very easy environment, you want to pick flat. If you want all of the hilltops and things that you see in this image, and that variety, different biomes and things, then you would pick infinite. And if you wanted the original version, which is a smaller map that also looks like this infinite world, then you would pick old. Let's go ahead and pick infinite. Don't worry about seed. Down at the bottom here you have some options, and we are going to select activate cheats. Now cheats aren't terrible, okay, so don't think they're bad. There's some really helpful cheats that you want kids to have. First one is you want them to be able to see coordinates. That means that when they're walking around the world, they see an X, Y, and Z layout of where they are on the map. So for instance, if they build a house, you probably want them to write down the coordinates for that house so that when they go and explore the world, they can find their way back to their house. I would probably recommend for kids building that you set it on always day, because at nighttime different kinds of predators and bad things come out, and it can get a little bit, well, it can take you away from the task of building. We also want to show classroom settings, and here we have some other options. One, you can see allow mobs, which we are going to allow. Those are just animal characters and some other things that aren't always as nice. But let's go ahead and pick perfect weather. Let's pretend it's San Diego. Allow destructive items. Those are things like TNT and things that can blow up other stuff. Let's turn that one off. Player damage. If we have kids building, we don't really want to worry about them getting hurt, so we're going to turn off player damage. Immutable world. We'll come back to this in a later tutorial, but basically this is setting it up so that the world can't be changed. And that, whether you want to have that or not, depends a lot on what your kids are doing. I'm going to leave that off so that kids could cut down trees, could mine and farm, and change the world. And then finally, player versus player damage. We're not focused on that. We're focused on building in this example, so I would turn that off. So now that I've got everything set, I'm going to go ahead and create. It takes a while for Minecraft to generate this world. Keep in mind that you just need to create this world and have this world saved, and then be able to share it with other kids. So you'll see that in a later video, how kids can access, can get into your world and can move around in it. Something else that you'll notice is once this world opens up, it's going to take a little while for the world to fill in. There's so much data and so much information here that we need to allow a little bit of time as it's being constructed for the world to appear. So you can see now we've got some islands out there. You'll also notice as you move around these kinds of worlds that each kind of world, whether it may be a desert or kind of a snowy tundra, you'll notice that these worlds are divided into biomes. This is an excellent opportunity then to teach kids about biomes in a very small virtual space. Okay, also notice the position there at the top left-hand corner. That is useful, so I can mark my position and figure out how to get back to my starting point. Let's go ahead and stop this world here. Notice that I would want to save and quit. And let's make one more world. So again, create new. Create a new world. We'll stick with creative mode. We'll keep it peaceful this time. And I just want to show you a different world type, which is flat. This is a great world type to use when you want kids to build in the easiest environment possible. Let's go ahead and create. So notice the difference. It's very clear, isn't it? You've got a very easy world to build on, and for the teacher, that's going to be make your job easy in terms of dividing up the space and having kids build. So if this interests you, instead of the more biome-rich world, you could choose a flat world, especially if you're focused on having the kids build. One other thing that's worth noting, just in the creative mode that I think is great, and this makes it easy for kids to move around also, is that hitting double space allows them to fly. So they could then very quickly move around the world. If they get lost, they can go way up and find their house. And then to get down, you can either just double click or you can press the down arrow. We're going to go ahead and stop the video here, but that's two different ways that you can create a world in Minecraft.